Alright guys, so we're back for another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and in today's video we're going to be checking out the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, because of course they are about to drop on Global Dokkan for the 8th year anniversary, and they're very good, right? They get a little bit of hate because turn 1 they're not the best defensively, and while I do understand, again, turn 1 they can be a bit of a liability, they start to look really insane very quickly, because they're a stacking unit, so with all the additionals they have built into their kit, their defense is going to get really high very quick. Like, just give them a turn or two of stacking. And also, they've got the standby skill, which when you do that, they become one of the most tanky units in the game. And they build up crit in their passive too, so their damage can look crazy, especially with all the additionals they're doing. So they're a very good unit, right? I feel like some of the hate is kind of over-exaggerated, because keep in mind, they're still like top 10, if not pushing top like 5 units in the game. So a very good unit overall, but I do understand some of the hate, because again, turn 1, they're not the best, and they definitely can get caught. But before we get into the video, if you find yourself enjoying it at any point, feel free to like and subscribe. Also, keep in mind that our timestamps in the video, so if you want to skip around to any part, then absolutely feel free to do that. And yeah, let's get right into it. So on this opening turn right here, we're not going to be looking crazy with links, but we do have some support from the Vegito and a lot of support from the MVP 17, so still a good opening rotation. And yeah, as you can see, only 314k defense. So definitely very low, especially considering this guy is, an anniversary LR for turn 1. Because there's no guard, no damage reduction, dodge, anything like that right here. It's just 314k defense. And we also have a lot of support. So, this is kind of an unrealistic turn because MVP 17 is a very good defensive supporter. So, with everything going on for him, again, just not really the best defensive stat. But again, he's continuously stacking. On his 18 key, he gets 50% defense permanently, so he greatly stacks defense. And then on his 12 key, he raises defense, so he just gets the 30% buff. So that's what I'm saying. Like, 50% defense infinitely is crazy. Like, that means this guy is going to get really high defensively within a short amount of time, right? Because 50% defense is definitely very good. So a 9.8 million attack stat. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good as well. You got to keep in mind this guy is building up a 50% chance to crit. So he's getting 10% crit chance with every attack performed, up to 50%. So, of course, this guy's damage can look really crazy too. But, yeah, I mean, overall, not the best opening rotation, at least in terms of his defense. But his damage definitely has looked pretty good. And then right here, we're at 285k defense. So, yeah, I mean, you see where I'm coming from here. That's really not the best defensive stat. Definitely is pretty low, but we'll throw him in slot 2 right here. The good thing about him is if you have him in slot 2 or 3, key is like never really an issue with him. So actually we can go over his kit right now because there's a lot to go over. So he starts off with 200% attack and defense. Very good start of turn, attack and defense buff considering he's a Dokkan Fest LR. He gets 50% attack and defense when HP is 50% or above. I mean, I guess most of the time you're going to be above 50% HP, so not really the biggest deal, but kind of a weird thing to give him. I don't know, it doesn't really fit the rest of his kit, but anyway, I guess more attack and defense, good, right? And then when he's in slot 1, he gets 100% defense and then 1 key per key sphere obtained. Definitely very useful. I don't really think there's going to be an instance where this guy's struggling for key, especially because some of the stuff he does later in his kit. And then if you have this guy in slot 2 or 3, he gets the 100% attack instead of the 100% defense, and then he gets 2 key per key sphere obtained. So I think having him in slot 2 or 3 is probably going to be a little bit better, at least earlier on, because then it makes it to where you're very easily basically getting a 24 key, and then you can get all your additionals to get, of course, all the supers. But all right, right here we're at 407k defense. So, I mean, that's all right because we got 1 super off, so we didn't get like a bunch of additionals or anything like that because I think we had type advantage during the first turn, so we just instantly one-shot him. But that's not horrible. I'm going to throw him in slot 1. Ooh, actually, you know what? Ooh, I don't know what to do here. I guess I could do this so that we could like save some key. And then, yeah, they're going to get a 24 key super because, again, dude, 2 key per key sphere obtained is crazy. It's going to be insanely easy to get a 24 key super with them. As you saw right there, we only got 5 key spheres, which is very realistic. Like 5 key spheres isn't anything crazy. And they're, at a 24 key super. So, okay, all right. Yeah, 12.6 I think that was. Definitely very good because now you'll see we're going to crit on some of these. Okay, we crit on the first one and just killed. And, dude, this KO screen, it looks really badass. I don't know why the animation stops. I wish it would have just, like, kept on going on. Like, you would have kept on seeing the rocks flying and everything, because it's a really cool KO screen. So, yeah, definitely very good. 9.8 million damage. and we also had potentially 3 more supers incoming. So these guys can do 4 supers, even 55%, because they've got 3 supers built in, right? You get your 1 super, and then you get your additional super. There's another additional, which we'll go over in a second because we didn't finish going over their kit. And then also, because they're physical, of course, they've got the base 5 additional. So then, because you're doing so many additionals just from their kit, it makes it to where you're very likely to get that, obviously, 4th super. And again, even 55%, you can get that because they're physical. So we did get our defense lowered. Just keep that in mind. Only 8 million. I think it was 8.4 actually. You know, not the best. Definitely a big drop in terms of our damage. But keep in mind, they're only in slot 1. So if you have them in slot 2, they're going to be pushing like 12 million like they were on the previous turn. But even 8 million, still really good. Because again, we've potentially got 3 more supers incoming. And every single one of these is going to have a very high chance to crit. I don't know how many supers we've done, but again, he does build up the crit chance. He gets 10% crit chance with every attack performed, up to 50%. So in your best situation, you're going to be looking at a 50% chance to crit with all the additionals and everything, which, you know, very crazy. I mean, honestly, this guy is really good, right? I mean, overall, he's just a very crazy unit. Once you start to get a couple supers off with him, dude, it's over, pretty much, right? So, okay, this guy also gets an additional attack that has a 70% chance to become a super if key is 18. So that definitely is very good because getting 18 key with this guy is going to be extremely easy. Like, extremely, extremely easy. I don't think you're ever not going to get that. And then this guy gets a guaranteed additional super attack when key is 24. Same goes with that. Extremely easy, right? So I think overall, the restrictions behind getting those 2 supers are not bad at all. So right here, we're at 571k defense. You know, for turn 5, that's not the best. That definitely is kind of low, but keep in mind, we haven't been able to get all of our additionals because, of course, the enemy just keeps on dying because we're doing so much damage, which I guess can be kind of an issue with this guy because, you know, again, if you're doing too much damage so you're not able to get, like, all your supers off, then, of course, you know, your defense is going to kind of suffer from that because you kind of need to be doing all your additionals and all that for this guy to get really crazy defensively. But overall, I guess it just really depends, right? Because there are also situations where you can get stunned or sealed or anything like that. So then, of course, you know, you just can't do a super. And, of course, a lot of these red zone enemies are doing that. So you got to be very careful with this guy, right? I don't know. I think his design was good, but maybe they could have given him a little extra something for the first couple turns. Maybe some guard or something like that. So you can feel more confident just throwing him in slot 1, you know, very first turn. So you can get all the supers off with him. Because then if you have to run him in slot 2, you know, the enemy's killing him first, then it's just a whole thing, right? But right here, we're at basically 600k defense. So for turn 6, not the worst, right? Because even right here, we still get the 50% defense on our 18 key. And then we've got at least the 2 additionals incoming that give us 30% defense. So right here, I think we're still going to be like around 1 million defense, which is very good, especially considering, you know, again, we're continuously stacking and all that. But we do have a standby, so I guess we can go ahead and pop this. Let me make sure I have this. Well, actually, I guess it doesn't matter if I have the skip on or off. You can't skip this anyway. Kind of weird you can't skip standbys. I feel like they should add that, like, relatively soon. I mean, I like watching them, of course, but still, I don't know. I feel like you should be able to skip it. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, this guy becomes pretty much one of the most tanky units in the game when you use his standby. So we'll go ahead and pop this, and then we'll go over everything in his kit. Dude, I swear, every time I use the standby skill, it always makes me think a fusion unit, like with the standby skill, to where they use the standby into fusing to Vegeta or Gogeta or whoever, would be so sick, bro. I really hope we get that for, like, you know, Tanabata or Worldwide or something like that, because now we're getting into the time of the year where everything is going to be hype, right? We got Tanabata coming up, you know, Worldwide, Global, we've got Anniversary, so, you know, I'm expecting them to pull out the big stuff, man. But anyway, right here we're at 626k defense, so a little bit of a jump in terms of our defensive stat. So their passive is they can't attack except for when doing a finisher. So No supers with them. They don't have any super attack effect or anything like that. I don't even think you could do normals with these guys. Just nothing. No damage whatsoever. Which isn't really that big of a deal because just how crazy defensively they are. But just keep in mind, you're not really going to be doing any damage with them outside of the finish attack. So they get 250% defense. They get guaranteed guard for 4 turns from start of turn. So once you use the standby, you get guard for 4 turns after that. They randomly change key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. And then they reduce damage received by 8% per key sphere obtained. Not per rainbow key sphere, just per key sphere obtained. So right here, we're going to get 8 key spheres. So we're going to have 64% damage reduction right here. 64% damage reduction, guard, and 626k defense. I don't think there's a single event in the game that can even remotely do us like anything more than double digits to us right now. Like, defensively, we're insane right here. We're, like I said, one of the most tanky units in the game. So yeah, just very crazy. I mean, defensively, dude, this guy is insane. But again, you can't attack with him at all, so just keep that in mind. And then this guy does get an additional 500% attack when performing a finish attack. So, of course, that's when you pop the standby. Basically, you just got to get a lot of key spheres for that. So, I mean, yeah, dude, defensively, this guy is insane, right? Like, as you see right here, there's no enemy in the game that's doing any damage to this guy whatsoever. Like, you could just easily throw him in slot 1 and he's tanking everything. Which is definitely a good thing, right? Because, again, you know, he starts a rainbow orb change, he gets all the damage reduction, so it's very easy to just kind of throw him in slot 1 with a standby and then have him tank everything. Alright, so I figured we could just skip to the turn where we can do the standby skill. So yeah, right here we have it. I'm going to collect the key spheres with the Vegeta first, because I think that just makes the standby skill do more damage, if I'm not mistaken. So right here, yeah, 4 out of 7 links. And he does also get tough as nails, too. So you do got to keep that in mind. When you use the standby, that link does give him some extra defense and then some extra damage reduction as well. So just more of the reason is why this guy's insane defensively, right? So, okay, we're at 837k defense. Dude, yeah, alright, let's just pop this, bro. This guy's insane, right? Over 15 million damage. And then, yeah, you go back to the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta after you, you know, do the standby. So, yeah, okay, very good. Definitely very good. I mean, the amount of damage you're going to be doing there is worth not being able to do any damage with them before you pop the standby while they're in the standby skill, like, transformation. I guess technically you become Vegeta. So, I mean, I guess there's that. So while you're Vegeta, it's worth not doing any damage to then do the standby skill and then do, like, you know, close to 20 million damage. Because, of course, we didn't even crit right there. So if we crit, yeah, the damage would have been very good. So, okay, we got a pretty good rotation right here as well. We're pretty late into the fight. I'm kind of curious what his defense is going to be at. Okay, yeah, almost a million. So, yeah, pretty good, right? Because then after we super, we're going to be well over a million. Actually, I think we're going to be pushing 2 million right here. So, I guess what we can do, actually, is we can just go ahead and cut to when we can nuke with him, because I already made the mistake in this run. I nuked with him, but I threw him in slot 1, which obviously you don't want to do because he gets the massive attack buff in slot 2 or 3. So, yeah, right there, 900k defense. Definitely good, but again, I don't want to show this rotation. We'll just cut to when I'll nuke with him. Alright, so we're back in the Legendary Vegeta event. As you can see, we are going to get 20 key spheres right here, so definitely going to be looking pretty good. We did already pop the World Tournament Announcer item, and we're at 624k defense, which is definitely very good because we're only on turn 5. You got to remember that. I think last time we saw him on turn 5, he was a little bit lower in terms of his defense. But we did get a little bit luckier with actually being able to get our supers off in this run, so of course worked out a little bit better. But with the extra 100% attack and all the nuking items, we are at a 29 million attack stat. Okay, so 29 million. We've done a couple supers, as I mentioned, so we do have the 50% chance to crit right here, which can we get? No, we can't. Okay. But, yeah, keep in mind we did have a crit chance right there, which we did not get, and we also had all the additionals, so definitely very good. But with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to the red zone test. Alright, so we're here fighting Red Zone Omega Shenron. Figure we could bring him in here because, of course, he has type advantage. Now, this is a little tricky because we could die. I think we're fine, but if this Gogeta doesn't dodge in slot 1, I don't know, he might take a bit of damage. I know the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta is going to be fine. I don't know, though. Should I like, not get an 18-key super? Because I don't want to kill, because everyone here is going to do a lot of damage, but I want to get 24-key with the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta, because, of course, you know, I want to get as much defense with them with all their additionals. So they are going to take a super. We could have used the standby, and then with the standby, they would have easily tanked it, right? I mean, we saw how good they were looking last time we used the standby. But I am curious how much they'll take without that. So this is just relying on their defense alone. You know, we're here on turn 7. We've gotten a good amount of stacks in, but still our defense isn't insane. So now that I've done this showcase, I can kind of see a little bit more where some of the hate is coming from, because they are a good stacker, and they do stack up pretty quick if you're getting all the supers, but it is kind of difficult to get all the supers in some situations, right? Because again, as we mentioned in the video, you know, some enemies are stunning, sealing, a lot of other units are doing a lot of damage and will probably kill the enemy before you can kill them. So it's just kind of a whole thing. Okay, I kind of don't want to crit right here, because if we crit, I think we kill. So just don't crit. Okay, we have another one incoming. So as long as this doesn't crit and we don't get the hidden potential system additional, we should be fine. Hopefully. Please don't crit. Okay, perfect. Okay, we crit, but it's alright. So we're still seeing us tank a super. We did get the triple super right there, so a lot of defense from that. And we are taking 325k. Still a lot of damage, I'm not going to lie. That is a good amount, but after we supered and all that, I think we were a little over 1 million defense. So I guess that makes sense. This Omega Shenron, I think, hits for like 1.3, 1.4. So definitely good, though. He survived it, right? Pretty impressive. But I don't know. I will admit, you know, we tanked it on turn 7. Now we're on turn 8. And this is typically when the fight is wrapping up. So to still be taking that much damage from a super, you know, you do want to keep that in mind, right? But overall, you know, he's looked good. For an anniversary LR, maybe I would expect him to be just a little bit better. But still, a very good unit. I mean, with everything this guy's doing, he's still very useful. Because, of course, he's got the standby skill and just everything else going on for him. So very good overall, but not as impressive as I was expecting in here. But with all that shown, let's go ahead and cut to the unit breakdown. Alright, so here we have Universe's Last Hope, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. So starting off with their leader skill, it is Power of Wishes or Last Resort, which is just final trump card. Category Ki +3, HP attack and defense plus 170%. And then the additional 30% to stats goes to Connected Hope or Majin Buu Saga. So very good leader skill. Most of the units under these categories are going to fit under the 200% category. So again, very good leader skill. And then their super attack effect on their 12 key is that they raise defense infinitely and then raise attack for 1 turn, do colossal damage. Their 18 key is they greatly raise defense infinitely and then greatly raise attack for 1 turn and then cause mega colossal damage. And then their passive is that they get attack and defense plus 200%. They get an additional attack and defense plus 50% when HP is 50% or more. And then they get an additional defense plus 100% and then an additional key plus 1 per key sphere obtained as the first attacker in a turn. And then they get 100% attack and then 2 key per key sphere obtained as the second or third attacker in a turn. And then they launch an additional attack that has a great chance of becoming a super when Ki is 18. And then they get a guaranteed additional super attack when Ki is 24. And then they get an additional 1 key and chance of performing a crit plus 10% up to 50% with each super attack performed. So I didn't talk about this during the video, but they do stack Ki as well. They just get infinite Ki, which is an insane mechanic. Like, between that and then this, dude, you're never struggling with Ki with them, right? So definitely a very good thing. I just wanted to mention that because this is a really good mechanic. And I don't think we've ever seen a unit stack Ki before. So I guess that is really good, right? And then their standby skill, obviously you switch to the standby skill for 5 turns. And then you get the 1 charge counter per key sphere obtained. So basically it just charges up the standby, like actual attack, right? And then the condition for that is that it can be activated when HP is 50% or less after performing 4 or more attacks during battle, starting from the 4th turn from start of battle. Not the worst condition, but there might be some situations where you don't get this. But I think overall, you'll see it pretty frequently, right? And then his links are Saiyan Warrior Race, Golden Warrior, Super Saiyan, Experienced Fighters, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. And then his categories are Power of Wishes, Final Trump Card, Connected Hope, Majin Buu Saga, Pure Saiyans, Joined Forces, Battle of Wits, Mastered Evolution, Battle of Fate, Power Beyond Super Saiyan, Bond Parent and Child, and then All Out Struggle. So a lot of really good categories, of course. And then when you do get the standby, His links do change. He now gets Tough as Nails, and I think that's it. He just changes Golden Warrior for Tough as Nails. So that definitely is good. Tough as Nails is a pretty solid link. It gives 20% defense and then a 5% damage reduction. And then his passive does change. We already went over it in the video, but I guess we can go over it again. So he gets a 250% defense. He gets the guard for 4 turns. He does Rainbow Orb change. He also gets 8% damage reduction per key sphere obtained, which is insane. That with the guard is just like crazy, right? And then he gets the 500% attack when doing the finish attack. And then, of course, he's got the stuff for the standby. So you just get 15% attack, I think, with every key sphere you get. And then you got to get like 38 key spheres to do it. So, yeah, that is the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta showcase. I guess I can look at some of their good linking partners right here. Because they do got a lot of good partners, right? Their link set is definitely very good, right? You've got the other Anniversary LR. You've got, like, the Gohan, who's insane. You've got the 30-year Anniversary LRs. You've got Birdku. So, a lot of good partners because, again, his link set is very good. But, again, that has been the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta showcase. Let me know what you guys are thinking of them down in the comments. Let me know which banner you are going to summon for. And, yeah, that has been the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.